And now, Mike's thoughts. Let's talk about a perfect way to kick off the 2025 NFL season. And I do mean perfect. You could not script this. You could not script a more electric opener than the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys in primetime showdown on Thursday Night Football, September 4th, 2025. Guys, the Eagles are raising their Super Bowl banner. They're second in franchise history. And the team they're doing it in front of, their most bitter historic rival. This isn't just another game. This is personal. It's the NFC East, football at its best, and this is war. But here's the twist, and not everybody's happy about it. Let's just be honest. A lot of fans, and I mean a lot of fans, do not want this matchup week one. And deep down, it is because they are scared. They are scared that the Dallas Cowboys might actually just be good in 2025. They are scared that all of those offseason moves that the Dallas Cowboys have quietly made might pay off. They are scared that this is the year that the Dallas Cowboys stop being the punchline and start being a real threat. But the Eagles, they're not flinching. Fresh off a dominating Super Bowl run, they're still the kings of the football world. Even with new faces replacing some of last year's heroes, they're still ready to prove that 2024 was not a fluke. And they've got to do on the biggest regular season stage, the NFL kickoff game. But guys, let's not forget, this is the time the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles will meet in week one since 2000. Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts. A matchup that somehow hasn't happened nearly as often as it should, will finally take center stage to launch the NFL's most anticipated season. The Eagles are 20-5 all-time in week one games as defending champions, but this isn't about history. It's about a rivalry that could shape the NFC race from the very first snap. So guys, in the comments below, will the Dallas Cowboys just show up and show you that they're the real deal, or the Eagles going to remain on top of the East and own that crown? At the end of the day, it is what it is. But do not forget that I told you the Dallas Cowboys are back, baby. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Hey, now it's time to take off.
That's not the one we want. There we go.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go! What is up, Man Hour Nation? And welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to sport for live, raw, and uncut NFL talk, guys. I'm so glad you're with us today, but before we dive into any action, guys, let me tell you about manhourradio.com. That is where you can grab all your exclusive merch, check out our latest blogs, and stay up to date with everything what we are doing. If you're repping the Man Hour, that is the place to do it. manhourradio.com is where he's at. Get those $1 bills, yo. And hey, do not forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us and to make sure that you never, ever miss a show. But wait, there is even more. There's more. You can become a pigskin pundit today. Be like my man, Old Man River down here, and become a pigskin pundit. That's our members-only community where you get free entry to all of our NFL weekly pick'ems, giveaways, and of course, exclusive merch as well. You get you also get all the access to extra live streams that only our pigskin pundits get. So if you want the full Man Hour experience, sign up and join the squad. Now, remember, guys, it's a live interactive show, so be sure to comment down below. I want to hear from you, James Frank. I want to hear from your thoughts, Old Man River. I want to know your opinion, Scarface. And, guys, your hottest take, so it's all about the conversation at the end of the day. But, guys, before we get too carried away, we gotta welcome some people in the show. We gotta welcome to some more people in the show. We gotta welcome Old Man River, Mr. Pigskin Pundit himself, down to this. He says, have us some classic rock music to open the show. Old Man River, listen. I grew up on classic rock. I grew up on AC/DC, Kiss, all those, the Eagles, and unlike all those guys, right? But however, that is the most copyrighted claim music out there, hands down. You play 6 chords, boom, your live stream's getting shut down instantly, baby. There's no questions about it. It is getting shut down from the start. But I would let me tinker with some classic rocks. Maybe like when Pops comes down on Friday, maybe me and him can get at the old guitars and do our own take on some classic rock, and maybe we can record it then. But we also got James Frank in the chat today as well. He says, no, Philly by 40. Philly by 40. Come on, man. Slow it down, baby. We know the Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, James. We know that the Dallas Cowboys will be first in the NFC East. We know that the Dallas Cowboys are going to put the NFL on notice in 2025. James, so slow it down, baby. Slow it down. James wants to know, I wonder how long will it take before George Pickens wants to fight Dak Prescott. Listen, Dak Prescott went to what? Ole Miss, right? That man's a Southern black boy. Dak Prescott is a Southern black boy. You do not want to mess with Southern black men. I'm just saying. George Pickens, I don't know where you're from. I don't even know where George Pickens went to college. Let's just be honest. But you do not want to meet Dak Prescott. Especially when he got that white girl by his side. Ooh, better slow it down, baby. George Pickens does not want any smoke with Dak Prescott at all. And Old Man says you're drinking Sterino. I don't know what Sterino is, but I do got a classic Dave Matthews Coca-Cola looking koozie today. How about that? Ooh, that is good. Scarface in the chat says Eagles. I said hi, says Scarface. I said the Eagles are the best. I say, Scarface, you need to slow it down, baby. Scarface, I'm about to put another scar on your face if you keep talking down on my Dallas Cowboys. I have proposed to the Dallas Cowboys yet again. They haven't said yes quite yet. But I said, Dallas Cowboys, come back into my life, baby. Come back into my life. I miss you, some Dallas Cowboys. And they're like, Buck, we'll talk in a few weeks. But what's up, man? What's up? Homicided Gamer says hi. What's up, Homicided Gamer? What's up? Good. What's good, brother? What's good? And Old Man River says that coin toss, depending how good Washington, if not Philly. Washington, New York Giants, and then Cowboys. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. We got my man, the CEO of the Pigskin Pundits, Mr. Jim Powell himself, says, I am too a supporter of hair band rock. Listen, I'm telling you guys, this is the most copyrighted claim music out there. It will shut you down in a heartbeat. That AMD copyright thing will get out of here, boy. I hate you, Buck. But Scarface says, please make Polio G the next halftime show performer. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know who. I don't think I can name one song by Polio G, or Polo G, right? The pop in the collar. No. Go back to your corner, Scarface. Go back to your corner. We don't care about the Eagles. I'm just joking. What's up, man? What's up? He said the Cowboys still suck. James Frank says, y'all should write a theme to the song for your halftime metal show. Listen, I was experimenting with a rock version of the intro song about a month ago. I think I got it on my computer still. So let me upload it to the mixer. And at the end of the show, let's say, what's today? Today's Tuesday. So probably Thursday's show. Give me time to get it onto the mixer. I will give you guys a little sample of it. I personally didn't like it, but we did put a lot of work into it. But yeah, it is what it is. James Frank says 115 days so we can watch football. James, I actually have a countdown on my phone. So September 4th is exactly 114 days away. So real football, 114 days away. James, you are right. You are right, my man. Scarface says, I will kidnap the Cowboys team and make them lose by forfeit just to make them watch. I feel like we have a little Ace Ventura. Scarface, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. And James Frank says, Bleak 182 the next time for the halftime show. That would be all right. I would also like some Linkin Park. Ever since they got that new female singer and they're making new music again and kind of redoing like the old Linkin Park stuff, it's been pretty good. But honestly, I would love to see Guns N' Roses halftime show. That would be amazing. Guns N' Roses halftime show would probably blow people out of it. They'll be like, this music exists. Yes, it does. And you know what else exists, guys, is the beautiful Dallas Cowboys. And that's exactly what we're going to start off tonight. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and how they handled the 2025 NFL draft, because you're a Cowboys fan. I see all you Cowboys fans out there. This class might have quietly been one of the best all-around hauls this season. That's right, I guess. That's right, guys. I said it. Out of all of the NFC North teams, AFC North teams, East and West and South, the Dallas Cowboys may have had the best draft out of everybody. With the 12th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys made a bold move, passing on a flashier skill player, and instead of going all in the trenches and selecting Tyler Booker, the powerful guard out of Alabama. Now, did Booker blow people away with his athletic testing? No. But he's battle-tested in the SEC, and it fills massive needs after Zach Martin's retirement. This is a plug-and-play starter for day one. Day one grade, I do got to give them a B+. I'm being a little hard on him. It's not flashy, but it is a solid. Guys, this pick could quickly become an A+ if Tyler Booker is if he grows to half of the talent that I think he can. Like, he is a very, very solid pick, but B+ come to day one. Now, in Ran True, they did grab Donovan, an edge rusher out of Boston College, who brings real motor and physicality to the table. The Cowboys clearly seen him as the next line behind DeMarcus Lawrence, but I like that swing. A day two grade, A-. Now let's talk about Shavion Reevil Jr., the third round corner from East Carolina. If he stays healthy, he's coming off an ACL injury, this could be one of the biggest steals of the NFL draft. He's physical, he's instinctive, and competes hard. Watch him play. He has a great head on his shoulders. I really like what they're building in the secondary down there in Dallas. And Dallas did not have a fourth rounder this year because of the Jonathan Mingo trade, but let's just be honest, that hasn't paid off yet. That dings their overall draft capital just a little bit, aka stupid. Why did you bring in Jonathan Mingo? But hey, slow it down, baby buck, slow it down. Maybe things will happen. But when you get to day three, this is where the front office started to show their value hunting skills. They grabbed Jalen Blue, a home run hitter at running back out of Texas, and doubled down with Phil Moffiff, a punishing runner out of Clemson. That's your thunder and your lightning combo, and that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys needed. They needed running back games. Then there's Shamir James, the linebacker out of Florida. They traded up to get him, and I get why. He's fast, he's versatile, and he could slide into a starting role sooner than later. And then you got Cornelius out of Oregon, gives them a chess piece on the offensive line who could flex between guard and a tackle. Jay Toya, and then Tommy Ascabenicos. I don't know. I can't even try to pronounce his name. Tommy, the two interior linemen added depth to stop the run, which was the weak spot for the Dallas Cowboys at times last season. I actually had to go back and watch tape on both of these guys. Neither of their names rung the bell, but I see why the Dallas Cowboys drafted him. They got a very, very high upside on both of those picks. But day three, guys, we got to give them an A-. They hit on need, value, and depth. But I want to know what you guys think. The final thoughts. This is the classic Dallas Cowboys draft as of late. They build from the inside out. They hit on value late and don't get distracted by highlight reels. They may have passed on bigger names, but they came across better in the trenches and tough across the board. But let's get into the comments, guys, and discuss your thoughts. And remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And remember, we're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time at youtube.com/manart. It's a live, interactive show. And let's get down to the comments below. Old Man River says, Alabama. Yes. Alabama picks, guys. The SEC and Big 12 had the Big 10 had tons of NFL talent. Of course, they had like 50 teams across the pie. But hey, it is what it is. Mellow Mike says, Blue got some butterfingers and a bad case of fumbleitis. Yes and no. He's still that home run hitter, though. He's still got the home run hit. If you can get him on the outside, he gone, baby. He gone. But that's why you got Phil to punish on the inside. Get a little, you're my boy, Blue. Go to the outside and score, baby. But hey, what's up? Got Daniel Barry Sports Highlights in the chat. What's up, Daniel Barry? He says, hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday, Daniel. What's up, man? What's up? Mellow Mike says, final thoughts. Jerry is senile, and the Cowboys still suck. Mellow Mike, you just slow it down, baby. You need to slow it down, baby. The Dallas Cowboys are back on top. I may have threw my helmet across the studio last year. I may have threw my Cowboys football across the studio last year. I may have broke up with the Dallas Cowboys last season. But hey, the truth of the matter is, guys, they nailed this draft. They get an A- from me 100%. Not only that, their offense looks a hell of a lot better. Their defense looks a hell of a lot better. The only thing they need to do now is trade Micah Parsons for a big haul because somebody's going to overpay for him. He's not worth his price in gold by any stretch of the imagination. Then they Super Bowl, baby. Now we thinking about Super Bowl, but Old Man River says slow it down, baby.
Pigskin.
Old Man River says Buck. I understand you're drinking out of your Enjoy Dave Matthews koozie. If you guys know, you know. He says, C for the Cowboys. Bruh. Bro. Gerald Ross is in the house. What's up, Gerald? He says, hey, Broncos fans in the house. What's up, man? Guys, we will be talking starting next Monday. The schedule release is tomorrow, right? I think it's at 6 or 7 o'clock in the air. When officially all this schedule gets released. But come Monday, we are starting in the AFC West there, Gerald. We're starting with your Denver Broncos, Gerald, and we're going to give you a way too early win-loss prediction of everybody in the AFC West. That's the Denver Broncos, that's the Chargers, that's the Raiders, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to start them. We're going to give you your win-loss total for each team out there and the power rankings for each division team. So, Gerald, if you're a Broncos fan, definitely tune in Monday because we're going to be dogging your Broncos. I'm just calling it how it is. Your Broncos will be dogged, my man. Mellow Mike says, can he gain the edge before losing the ball? Absolutely. We have all seen the replacements. He's going to look like he jacked off a big old elephant, going to get that stickum all up in his jersey, all up in his arms. He is going to put 4 layers of gloves on, get like size 17 gloves, put those things on there. He's not dropping that ball. I guarantee it, he's not going to drop the ball. James Frank says, I don't know much about the draft, about the draft picks that the Cowboys picked, but I actually like George Pickens going there. I can finally hope he does well. Glad he got out of Pittsburgh. CD and Pickens will be crazy together. Listen, James, that trade happened last Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So on that Tuesday afternoon, so guys, every day at 1:30, we do a community poll on YouTube and over at Facebook, right? So if you are a part of our Facebook groups if you're following our Facebook page or our YouTube pages, every day at 1:30, we do a community poll. And I asked, is CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens now the best 1-2 wide receiver duo in the NFL? And overwhelmingly, about over 80% of the people that voted said yes on that particular poll. Because if you think about it, just a few months ago, when DK and George Pickens were together, paired up in Pittsburgh, we all said, hey, This is the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. They are rivaling Jamar Chase and Higgins, right? They surpassed Jordan Addison and JJ, right? Because now you have two number one receivers on the same team. And now the Dallas Cowboys have two number one receivers on the same team. And I know Jonathan Mingo and Turpin are not going to get the crazy name recognition, but they're solid number 3 guys. They're short, they're quick, and they're really, really shifty. You got two big body receivers like George Pickens and CD mixed with Turpin. Guys, that Dallas Cowboys offense is about to be crazy. Listen, they are the best team in the NFC East right now. By their draft an A-, by adding George Pickens, elevates that draft even more because it counts as an offseason move, aka draft, right? Let's just be honest, that's just how we do it here. The Dallas Cowboys are back, baby. They're back, and Mel and Mike says, Buck, the Cowboys defense, just run the ball at Parson. He has been exposed. And Mel and Mike, you are exactly right. You are exactly right, brother. How do you beat Micah Parsons? You run right at that motherfucker. Run right at him. He doesn't want to hit you. He doesn't want to tackle you. What does Micah Parsons want to do? He wants to go sack the quarterback. He wants to chase down the play. The minute he has to set the edge and like let a big old 6'6", 300-pound guard pancake his ass, no, thank you, sir. No, thank you. Micah Parsons needs to be shipped out of town ASAP. Jerry Jones, hear me loud and clear. Everybody tweet at Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones right now. Trade Micah Parsons, trade Micah Parsons, trade Micah Parsons. If the Dallas Cowboys were to do this, for one, it would be a Herschel Walker type of move, right? Like that type of haul. Like, oh, what are you guys doing? We're winning Super Bowl, baby. Understand that. If you trade Micah Parsons, he's going to warrant 2 first-round picks, minimum, right? And maybe a second, like a third. Get a haul for his ass. You don't have to pay him. Plus, you get major draft capital, and now you can pay George Pickens. Now you can pay CeeDee Lamb and not have to worry about it, right? But yes, my little Mike, you are exactly right. How do you beat the Dallas Cowboys defense? Run at Micah Parsons. You win, baby. You win. Texas boy, what's up, brother? He says Dak owns the NFC East. And you are absolutely right. I think he only has, 5-6 losses to the NFC East in his NFL career. Not too shabby in my book. I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger, but Dak Prescott beats the NFC East. I believe he only has 1 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm just spitballing here, but I feel that's about right. Gerald Ross says, and your Cowboys will be dogged too. Listen, Gerald, next week we're going to start off with the AFC West. Then we're going to go to NFC West. And then by Friday, we will be talking about the NFC East. So, Gerald, we got a packed week next for you, brother. We got a packed week. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button and hit that notification bell. Because, guys, we are live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Mellow Mike says Pickens will drive CD crazy. As in, drive his stats crazy. You are right, baby. Because George Pickens going to warrant that safety over the top. CeeDee Lamb's going to get a lot of single coverage. Once that safety starts to slide over to the left, George Pickens going to get a lot of single coverage. Now, I know you're saying crazy like, oh, cuckoo. No, stats crazy, baby. Mellow Mike says, whoa. Passing Jetta and Addison and like Addison, bro, you on a bad trip. No, man. No, like, think about this. Now, I was high on Jordan Addison. I loved me some Jordan Addison. And then I started to go back and actually deep diving into that tape. If you are a Pigskin pundit, you saw the live where we dove deep into the Jordan Addison tape. He is not that good. I was like, Jordan Addison is the best ranked number 2 receiver in the NFL. That is a false statement. I cannot believe those words came out of my mouth. He might be top 5, maybe top 10. But number 1, I need to slow it down, baby. George Pickens goes from a number 1 receiver, arguably a top 12, 13-ish receiver in the NFL, We can have that debate on a different day. But now he goes into a number 2 role when he's a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. As a number 2 role, he's the best number 2 receiver out there, period. Hands down. CeeDee Lamb is not the best receiver. He's probably number 3, if not number 4. But you put those two together, that is the best duo in the NFL. That is the best duo in the NFL. And we will put that poll back up. Matter of fact, I'll do that poll again tomorrow. So 1:30, guys, here at youtube.com/manhour at 1:30 p.m. East Coast time. Look for that poll. That poll will be out there, and I want you to vote. We'll see what the people have to say, Mellow Mike, and then we'll bring it back on Wednesday, and we'll talk about it more. And Jonathan Muir's like, hey, it's your year. Right. Clowns. My man, slow it down. Slow it down, baby. The Dallas Cowboys are back. My man, Alpha Rob. What's up, Alpha Rob? And just like James Cook did, run at him. Yes, that's exactly how you beat Micah Parsons. That's exactly how you beat Micah Parsons. Over and over and over and over and over again. Forrest Hill, what's up? That's a new name. What's up, Forrest? He says, move the needle a little bit. First few picks are decent, but no, history ain't been kind. You are absolutely right. So, Forrest is saying, hey, the Dallas Cowboys draft well in the trenches, but when it comes to skill players, they're not very good. So, Forrest is saying, hey, Jaden Blue and Phil Mafah, is that how you say that? Mafah, Mafah, might not be as good as we think they are. Dallas Cowboys have problem drafting skill players, and you know you're probably right. You're probably a little bit right, Forrest. I'm not gonna lie. James Frank says I wouldn't say they're the best if their defense can't stop Saquon Barkley. James, the Dallas Cowboys defense being best has never come out of my mouth. Sir. Do not put those words into my mouth, Ricky Bobby. The Dallas Cowboys even right now is not even top 10. Not even with the old Mr. Dan Quinn. Mr. I can't coach a big game to save my life. That's... Forrest Hill says regular season hero, postseason zero, meaning Dak Prescott. Yes and no. Yes and no. Now he has 3 wins in the playoffs, all wild card wins, if I'm not mistaken, right? Well, they all are wild card wins. He has never made it past the divisional round, if I'm correct. Yes, I am correct. But yes, much like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Tua and pretty much anybody not named Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. It's pronounced J Real. My bad, dog. My bad. J Real. I will get that right. So it's a little running joke here on Man Hour J Real that I mess up names. Sometimes on purpose, sometimes not intentionally. Just know that I mean no disrespect. Mellow Mike says Dak rented the NFC East for a year. 10 wins and 2 playoff wins. Didn't Philly win 2 Super Bowls after 1995? Giants, by my count, have 2 Super Bowls, so you own the Commanders under Snyder. They still have owned the NFC East. That's all that matters, baby. That's all that matters, right? Where are the Baltimore Ravens fans at? All that matters is getting 13 wins. All that matters is, hey, we made it to the playoffs, right? Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Alpha Rob says, at least Pickens is in a dome now because he doesn't like the cold. They're like half a dome. Because the Dallas Cowboys didn't want to pay to pick the whole dome over so God can watch the Dallas Cowboys play or something. But yeah. Forrest, my man. You are making me take off the overlay. You're making me deep down in here. And Forrest Hill is saying that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith is the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. Forrest, I will add Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown to the poll tomorrow. I'll add CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and then Jordan Addison, and then Justin Jefferson, and we will see who wins. So check back in tomorrow, guys, on the community post. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Old Man River says, you are high right now, thinking that CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is the best 1-2 punch in the NFL. Come on, man. I'm not high. I'm high. I'm high on life. I'm high because we're on Man Hour Live, raw, uncut, baby. But come on. You got to be acting crazy. James Frank says, Mufa, last name reminds me of the word mofo. Not wrong. Not wrong. Mellow Mike says, Dak in the playoffs is a one-pump chump. Hey, sometimes one pump gets the job done, baby. I got 2 kids because of one pump. And Forrest Hill says, all 4 tandems are elite. Yeah, you are exactly right. I mean, now, obviously, I am boasting up the Dallas Cowboys here, right? I am boasting them up because we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I really, truly believe that Dak Prescott and George Pickens definitely is a top 4 duo in the NFL. Obviously, we haven't seen them play a game yet. It could be the worst, biggest bust ever, right? George Pickens could pull us to Chase Claypool at the end of the day, right? But you are correct. Jordan Addison and JJ are elite. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are elite. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are elite. I would even put in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle as potentially an elite duo as well. And we can even take it one step further and do a nice honorable mention in LA and talk about Devontae Adams and what's his face? Puka. Right? That could potentially be an elite thing as well. So my man got loose in that hat. His brain got not enough oxygen. Hey, that's not tight, baby. That's not tight. My little Kentucky Bankers hat. Come on, man. Curtis Hughes in the chat, 1-year anniversary follow. What's up, Curtis? He says, Washington's very dangerous team in the NFC East. Giants will be improved, but that's the division is a beast. And you know what? That's the perfect transition, Curtis, into the New York Football Giants. Guys, the New York Giants may have pulled off one of the boldest, most calculated drafts in 2025. And if it all hits, this could look like genius from years from now. What's up, Laura? I see you, big girl. And said, but guys, let's start off with the first overall pick. Not their first overall pick, but the Giants' first pick. And the edge rusher, Abdul Carter, at number 3 overall. Now, on paper, this might seem redundant, right? They already got Brian Burns. They already got Thibodeau screaming off the edge, but the Giants weren't drafting for need. They were drafting for impact. Carter brings elite burst, freakish athleticism, and polished versatility. Wink Mark Martindale or whoever's calling that defense can have some real fun with this trio, right? But then came the big move later in round 1 when they traded back up to get quarterback Jackson Dart at number 25. They gave up 2 third-round picks this year and the next year to do it. And I'll say this, it's gutsy. Dart is not a slam dunk prospect, but he's got a live arm, good mobility, and competitive edge that you can build around. And more importantly, the Giants sent a message to say that, hey, we are building for the future. So I don't care who our quarterback is, Jackson Dart is our guy moving forward after this season. Then goes on to day 2. They go defense yet again, snagging defensive tackle Darius Alexander out of Toledo, right? He is a raw but explosive lineman who can thrive next to Dexter Lawrence, and that duo could wreck the interior of offensive lines if Alexander develops right. Then moving into day 3, the Giants kept adding value, drafting Cam Skidabo from, I believe it was Arizona State, in round number 4. This guy runs angry. We talk about angry runs. This guy is it. He's not a home run hitter, but he will finish every run like it's a statement. Reminds me of Isaiah Pacheco a lot. If he improves his conditioning, he's a real rotational threat. Then there's Marcus Meblo. a do-it-all lineman out of Purdue who drafted 2 rounds later than expected. He's a swift army knife, right? He could play guard, center, or even tackle if asked to. That type of flexibility keeps you on the roster, especially in New York when their linemen, let's just be honest, suck. But hey, do not sleep on the stretch 7th round swings either. Tight end Thomas Fittibo II is a nice development pass catching option, and quarterback Corey Black gives you them long-term experienced cornerback to develop into the back end. But here are my grades. Day 1, they get an A. They went aggressive and landed 2 franchise cornerstones. Guys, this can make or break the New York Giants for the next 5, 10, 15 years in this day 1 grade. And then day 2, they get an A-. They had upside, and the upside and need collided with the Alexander pick. And then day 3, they get yet another A. It's smart, versatile selection across the board. So what is their final verdict? Guys, the New York Giants earned a final overall A for me in the 2025 NFL draft. It was bold, it was aggressive, and they loaded up with upside. If Jackson Dart pans out, this class could define the next decade for the New York Football Giants. But guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember, we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here, youtube.com, and of course, facebook.com/manhour. But this, guys, is a live, interactive show, so let's get into the comments down below and discuss your thoughts. Old Man River says, I agree, but they get a B+. Curtis Hughes also agrees. He says Carter and Dart are franchise pieces for the New York Giants to move very, very forward. And listen, you are not wrong, Curtis. You are not wrong. And Mellow Mike says, where is Dart on the depth chart as of right now? Behind Wilson, competing with the Sade famous Jameis. Quarterback is the most important position. Hot seat coaching and GM pick the first-round quarterback is a bad decision. Mellow Mike, you are right on both accounts there, right? Obviously, Brian Daboll should have been fired a couple years ago, along with Joe Schoen. Is that say his name? Joe Schoen? Shane Schoen? Well, whatever. Both of those guys should have been out this offseason, if not the year before that. But they are 100% on the hot seat. However, I do like the pick of Jackson Dart, because Jackson Dart, even if Brian Daboll is gone next season, he will have the learning abilities behind Jameis and Russ if both of those guys stay on the roster at the end of the day. Because rumors are floating around that the Saints are interested in trading for Jameis to bring him back to New Orleans to be that mentor, franchise veteran leadership down there in the Big Easy. But either way, he's got 2 quarterbacks to learn how to prepare, learn how to be a pro, and learn how to take care of his body. Because let's just be honest, Russ is on his last leg, couple years left. Winston is on borrowed time. Let's just be honest, it is what it is. So yes, both of those guys I feel want to pass knowledge on to Jackson Dart and definitely give him the best ability, best chance that they can to succeed. But we will see. We'll see at the end of the day what that all pans out. But Forrest Hill says Giants killed the draft. Their defensive line rotation is insane right now. And Forrest, obviously, at the number 3 overall pick, if Abdul Carter was still there, you had to select Abdul Carter. But then, while watching the draft and listening to Mel Kiper cry for the next 3 hours about Shorter Sanders, right? I was like, man, did they just really draft a number 3 guy to be a backup? But then I read the article that Kayvon Thibodeau talked about, and it's like, look, I will move to the inside. Brian Burns will do whatever it takes, and yes, those 3 pass rushing guys on third down. If you do not have those guys in there, oh my God, what are the Giants doing? But yes, I love it. I love it. It's going to definitely be OC. Mellow Mike said the Giants got to fix that offensive line. Thomas is the only valuable starter. Got to support the quarterback. You are correct. Offensive line is very, very key. Hopefully they did enough to replenish that offensive line, but we will see. Forrest says Dark actually has tools to arm. Supposedly smarter than you think, despite easier offense system. Tough NFC East is back. The NFC East might quietly be the most competitive division in football. I know we're talking about the AFC West and the AFC North and the NFC North, but it would not shock me one bit, Forrest, if every team from the NFC East makes the playoffs. I'm just saying. Mellow Mike says, good quarterback landing spot in sports, usually a bust. Seen it too many times. Franchise ruined talented quarterbacks way too many times. And you are correct. However, Brian Daboll did have the luxuries of preparing Josh Allen to become the Josh Allen that we know today, right? So maybe I'm not comparing Jackson Dart to Josh Allen. Let's just put that off the table right there. We went off on that last week. It was stupid. It was asinine that Brian Daboll even said that. But Brian Daboll does have a history of bringing up quarterbacks. Now, obviously, he did not do it with Daniel Jones and whoever else the 15 other quarterbacks were the last 5 years in New York. But maybe, since he has time to maybe potentially develop Jackson Dart, that Jackson Dart will do a good thing there. Forrest says, do you think Jalen, meaning Jaden Daniels, has a sophomore slump? I could see 3 teams making it 21 years, no repeat division championship too. Listen, the sophomore slump is a real deal. So when you think of sophomore slumps, usually it is to the NFL quarterbacks, right? Because they had a great rookie season and then all of a sudden they calm down, right? The many reasons for a sophomore slump is because now you're famous, right? You got money, you got women, you got cars, you bought your mama a house, you bought your mansion. You just want to chill. You want to enjoy that money and you forget that it is time to work. However, with the NIL money now, a lot of these players like Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, those Abdul Carter, viewers for the Miami, right? A lot of these guys have millions upon millions of dollars now. So it is not a shock to them like, oh, all of a sudden I'm living off of ramen noodles and now all of a sudden I'm buying a $5,000 steak for like supper. So I feel like a lot of sophomore slumps are contributed to that. And I think the NIL maybe has helped curb that slump a little bit. But Jaden Daniels is to me is a type of player that will not have a sophomore slump. If anything, he will have same stats, right? 4,000 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, lead the Commanders, to a wild card loss, right? But, it's a sophomore slump. But if you look at it and actually watch what he does, it won't be a slump. I think Jaden Daniels is an exception to the rule, and he will definitely start to curb that sophomore slump and not make it so it's going to be more of a and then go up, right? If that makes sense. Old Man River says, big pressure on Russ and crew, and hopefully they have enough quarterbacks for the year. They will. They have Jackson Dart. That's all they need, baby. That's all they have, and that's all they need. Mike says, Brian Daboll won't be around to see Jackson Dart develops. I hope you're right. To be honest, I hope you are right. I hope. Now, I hate this for my Kansas City Chiefs, but I hope a coach like Spags gets a chance to be a head coach, whether it's the Giants, Dolphins, whatever, right? I hope Spags gets a chance to be a coach, and I think he would be a great development. Old Man River says, hopefully Famous doesn't forget how to be productive. Think you mean Jameis? I'm not for sure. James Frank says, I don't think Jaden will know what a sophomore slump is. He'll only get better. I agree, James. I agree, my man. I agree. Forrest says, could see not as good, but Washington added help on the offensive line. Trey MMOs at corner. Yes, the Washington Commanders did nail the offseason and the draft as we will get into them, especially. But yes, the Commanders are doing everything right. They just keep adding pieces, and oh, by the way, we got like $100 million in cap space for next season. Right? It is what it is. Mellow Mike says Jameis praying to the Lord to deliver him from interceptions. Best soundbite of the year. Yes. Guys, if you have not listened to Jameis Winston mic'd up versus the Denver Broncos, I do believe it was pure comedy, right? Pure W. All right, guys, let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Philadelphia Eagles didn't just draft this season. They reloaded an already loaded roster with pieces to help sustain their elite defense dominance for years to come. But let's dive into how they actually did. But let's talk about round one, pick at number 31, where they moved up with the Kansas City Chiefs, where Howie Roseman went linebacker Jaheed Campbell out of Alabama. It's no surprise that Roseman traded up for a playmaker from the SEC. Campbell brings the all-around linebacker skill set, a guy who can disperse in coverage and also stop the run. With the Eagles' linebacking core solidified, Campbell looks like a future cornerstone for that defense for many, many years to come. A clear day one win for the Philadelphia Eagles yet again. Then in round two, they drafted safety Andrew Mukabubawa. I'm terrible with names. You guys know that by now. Texas at number 64. Some might argue that Andrew went earlier than expected, but this is a needed pick. After they traded away C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the Eagles needed a safety with range and ball skills. Andrew fits the bill perfectly, making a solid day two pick in my opinion. Solid round two pick in my opinion. And now, on day three, the Eagles went full defensive depth. Defensive tackle Ty Robertson at number 111 adds yet another powerful body to the already stacked defensive front. Robertson powers and explosiveness fits perfectly in the Eagles system, making him a real steal in that 5 technique spotted by Milton Williams. Then Mac McWilliams at number 145 brings a cornerback depth and could add a valuable rotational piece in that secondary. Linebacker Samuel Moden Jr., number 161, also has all the traits to be an impact linebacker and contribute on special teams right away. And then they went edge rusher, Powell Ryland at number 209. Rounds out the day in a developmental pass rusher. I love it. Another potential gem in the Eagles defense. Makuba. My bad. Then you got then they added another center. I'm not for sure why they added the center, but maybe the back issues for what's his face from Iowa is still having, but they added center Drew Kendall, who brings a solid skill set at interior alignment as well. And then they drafted offensive tackle Miles Hinton and offensive tackle Cameron Williams, 2 big bodies that can play guard or tackle. Hinton and Williams both have NFL legacies, so the Eagles might be banking on the family pedigree to be at impact. And then they drafted, and then as far as the quarterback situation, they drafted Kyle McCord in the 6th round. Has the potential to fill that backup role. McCoy's got a strong arm and could develop behind Jalen Hurts as a future position. So overall grades, day one, I got to give them an A. Campbell is a game changer, and it's hard to argue with that pick at number 31. Day two, a little less right, but they got a B+. As Mellow Mike says, Makuba was a little early in some, but definitely filled a need, and Robinson adds real power to the defensive line. And then day three, they get an A. They added depth, value, and developed across the board. Roseman worked the phones and nailed it. So guys, in the end, the Philadelphia Eagles 2025 NFL draft was all about defense and depth. 2 things this team has built its championship window around. They loaded up on defensive playmakers and added some key pieces in the trenches. If all these picks hit, guys, the Eagles could remain among the league's most dangerous teams for many, many years to come. But let's get into the comments, guys, and to discuss your thoughts. Mellow Mike says the Eagles still the team to beat. Roseman manipulates that salary cap like no one's business, like a damn all-star team. Howie Roseman could easily be general manager of the year, Mellow Mike, year after year after year. I don't know what he does so special versus the rest of the of the NFL. But honestly, him and Brett Veach have figured out this general manager stuff, and they wake up every day and they piss excellence. I know, Ricky Bobby reference, but they wake up and they piss excellence. Howie Roseman has to be the best general manager I've seen in a very, very long time. Him and Brett Veach from the Kansas City Chiefs are doing things right. They know how to work the system. They are masterminds upstairs and know how to do it. And he gives them an A for the Eagles. I'm with you on that. I actually have them as an A- laws by average, but yes, A for the Eagles. Real McCoy, what's up, man? Long time no see. The Eagles have good depth. You are absolutely right. The Eagles added depth across the board. And it honestly, if I'm a Cowboys fan or a Commanders fan or any team, any fan of any NFL team besides the Chiefs and the Eagles, I am pissed off. Like, how do the Eagles consistently get better and better and better? How do they lose Sweat and CJ Gardner-Johnson and sign their Dean to one of the wealthiest linebacking contracts ever, and they get better? Like how does that work? Like, I'm a Chiefs fan, and I'm pissed off. I'm like, how do we do this, right? Like, it's just crazy that they know how to do that. Old Man River says A- for the Eagles. Damn, man. No love. No, but yeah, they definitely both like A-, A. It doesn't matter. Do you want a 94 or a 95? Either way, they got a 94% on this. They nailed the draft. Let's just be honest. Mellow Mike says Veach is behind Roseman in terms of team talent building. Veach has Mahomes and does enough. You are correct. Howie definitely builds on every level of the team. Defensive line, linebackers, secondary, offensive line, right. Like, he does it all, right? Brett Veach does have his little star power, right? He has nice running backs, nice wide receivers, nice quarterbacks, nice linebacking, like nice defensive line. Offensive line is where Brett Veach is lacking. Let's just be flat out honest. James Frank says the Eagles GM is a genius, and they get an A. He sees talent, and he knows how to draft talent. He to take a word from the Pigskin Pun and Jim Powell.
Pigskin Pun, get you some.
I mean, Old Man River. He goes to the SEC, and he goes to Georgia and says, "Give me your best defensive lineman." They're like, "Here you go." Then he goes to Alabama and says, "Give me your best offensive lineman." Here you go. And then he goes to Iowa and says, "Who's your best wrestler?" Here you go. Like, he does great work. It's just crazy. Jim Powell says Eagles will miss the show, but they are exciting. So Jim is saying the Eagles will not be a repeat Super Bowl or miss the show at all, meaning the playoffs. That would be tough, Jim. We do know what happened last Super Bowl run. Started 11-0 the next season and lost 5 out of the next 6. First round exit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Could that be it? I don't know. Slow it down, baby. Real McCoy says, but you have it. You have it with the head coach and the offense making good decisions. Meaning the Chiefs, as we're talking about. I mean, yes, I do agree if you're talking about the Chiefs, but if you're talking about the Eagles, they are the best franchise in the NFL. From top to bottom, from ownership to general manager to coaching to players, the Philadelphia Eagles have the best of everything. The Eagles are the real deal, guys. I mean, and I'm a Chiefs fan, and recently broke up with the Cowboys, but I'm wanting to like get them back. I've been stalking them like a crazy ex, and I like what the Eagles are like doing. If I could root for the Eagles, I would definitely root for the Eagles. It is what it is. And Old Man River says, Buck, let me be very, very clear. Screw the Chiefs! My man. Monday, we're going to be talking a lot about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just saying. Mellow Mike says, I used to believe that any offensive lineman Reed touch turned into gold. Last year was a blemish on his record. Roseman found an all-pro left tackle playing rugby, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy. It is. I mean, like the Kansas City Chiefs got a running back that played rugby, which I don't think he panned out anything on like the team. But it is crazy that Howie Roseman is looking at rugby or basketball players or wrestlers. Like, it's just crazy what he's doing. He does good things, right? Does great things. But let's move on to the Washington Commanders. The Commanders may have not made a huge flash in the first round, but they definitely did their homework and made solid picks. Guys, let's break down the Washington Commanders 2025 NFL draft. And then round number 1 at pick number 29, they drafted offensive tackle Josh Cornley Jr. out of Oregon. This pick was a little bit of a head scratcher in my opinion. Now, Josh is a solid offensive tackle prospect, but tackles like Laramie Tunsil and Brandon Coleman already on the roster, it is tough to see where Josh immediately fits in. While he's a good potential to be a future star, Washington bypasses some good defensive talent here. But so on day 1, I got to give them a C+ on this trade. I think Josh will have a bright future, but immediately right now, he definitely does not help the team at all. Moving on to round 2, at pick number 61, they drafted quarterback Trey Amos out of Mississippi. Now, this is a much better pick. Trey is an aggressive corner with some excellent coverage skills, and he will fit well opposite of Marshawn Lattimore in the Washington secondary. The Commanders made the move to trade their 3rd-round pick to pick Lattimore last season. So adding Amos here is a solid reinforcement. Day 2, grade A. I got to give them an A-. Now, moving on to round number 4. At number 128, they did draft wide receiver Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech. Lane is an exciting pick, in my opinion. They keep him in the DMV is a smart move off for the Commanders. Lane's explosiveness as a receiver, whether inside or outside, gives Washington a dynamic threat on the perimeter, and he could see immediate time in that slot and could be a weapon for whoever is underneath center for many, many years to come. So day 3, and round number 4, I got to give them an A-. Now, moving on to round 6 and round 7. They drafted linebacker Kane out of UCLA. Kane is a guy who can make an impact on special teams right away. He's fluid, he is fast, and as an outside linebacker, has a nose for the football. Go back and watch the tape. He's always around the ball. He could grow into the starter down the line, but likely will be used as a rotational role early. So I got to give him an A+ on that one. And then moving to round number 7, they did draft a running back, Jacoby Corset Merritt out of Arizona. Now, this is another player that I had to go back and watch the tape on, right? I did not get a chance to watch a lot of Arizona football because them men being out the West Coast, me being on the East Coast, but whatever. This kid is a playmaker. When I watched this highlight tape, he can break tackles and he can outrun defenses in the open field. Washington already has a strong running back room, but adding Jacory brings another dimension and a speedster who can create big plays. Another A+ on day 3. So just to recap, day 1, they get a C+. It's a solid pick for Josh, but passing on defensive talent is a tough way to ignore. Day number 2, I got to give them an A-. Amos is a fantastic pick, and Lane is a great fit for the offensive of line. And then day number 3, they get an A+. A lot of upside, and this is where the Washington really shined in the draft. So in the end, guys, the Washington Commanders made a mix of back trades. My bad. Pushed the wrong button. There we go. So in the end, they had a mix of picks that could pay off, especially in later rounds. They added their defensive backfield and receiving core while picking up some real talent depth on special teams. If day 2 and day 3 picks hit, this could end up being a solid clash for Washington. But let me know what you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Now, Mellow Mike says Tunsil is overrated. This is coming from a Texas fan. Mediocre run blocker, elite pass protector, habitual drive killer with false starts. Glad he is gone. Laramie Tunsil is a guy that, Mellow Mike, I feel like he's definitely was overhyped a lot of his career in like Houston, right? So I definitely like that. And Old Man River says, do not forget the addition of Deebo Samuels as well. They get a B+. Yes, I forgot about Deebo Samuel. Now, he is underneath a contract year, so he is going to be hungry, and he's going to be wanting the ball, right? He's going to be able to get up and down the field as well. Mellow Mike says, Amos was a great get. I do love that pick. Amos is definitely going to ball out. Jim Powell says, Carlton Hassel was a national champ wrestler and went to the Steelers at O-line in the 90s. Them cats have a great center of center low of gravity. Yes. So actually, I tell all of my high school kids that if you are not playing basketball, you should be wrestling. But hey, that's just me. That is just me at the end of the day. But guys, it is time to get into a little bit of panic or a little bit of patience. Where's it at? There it is. I think. All right, guys, so let's switch gears and dive into panic or patience. Guys, here's how it works. I'm going to throw out a situation or scenario that's happening in the NFL world right now. And it's up to you to decide, should we be hitting the panic button, or is it time to slow it down, baby, and be a little bit patient? If we think it is time to panic, we'll say, okay, things are not looking good. We need to start freaking out a little bit. It's the uh-oh moment that everything seems to be like spiraling out of control. But if we think we need to be a little bit more relaxed, take a deep breath, and let's play it out type of situation, we'll go with patience. We'll remind ourselves that sometimes it takes time and not every bump in the road is the end of the world. So guys, are we jumping off the ledge, or are we sticking around and trusting the process? Let's find out as we dive into panic or patience, or should we just need to keep our cool or hit the panic button and hit the panic button. So let's start right off at the top, and let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Trey Hendrickson, right? Guys, panic or patience? Are the Bengals officially in panic mode with Trey Hendrickson issues, or should they just be patient and let it play out? All right, guys, so welcome back to the show, and it is definitely time for another edition of Panic or Patience. And today's question is all about the Cincinnati Bengals and their star defensive end, Trey Hendrickson. So let's dive right into it. Guys, are the Bengals officially in panic mode with the Trey Hendrickson contract situation, or should they just take a step back and be patient and let it all play out? Guys, first off, let me catch you up on everything what is going on. Trey Hendrickson, guys, is a 4-time Pro Bowler and led the NFL in sacks last season. He is arguably one of the top defensive ends in the NFL, but here's the issue. Henderson has 1 year left on his contract, and it's a hefty $15.8 million a season. And earlier this offseason, Trey made his feelings clear, requesting the ability to seek a trade, hoping to secure a long-term deal. Now, let's be real. Trey wants his money. It's clear, and who can blame him? He's been dominant, a force on the Bengals defense, and in his eyes, he deserves to be compensated like one of the best in the league. But despite his request, Trey is still on the roster, and now we're waiting to see what happens next. And this is where things get a little tricky. You see, in an effort to clear up cap space, safety Geno Smith agreed to restructure his contract, taking a $1.58 million pay cut this season. Why did he do this? Well, the Bengals needed the extra dollar bills, y'all, likely to create some flexibility for a possible Trey Hendrickson extension. Geno didn't know the exact plan, but he trusted the team's vision and understood what the move was necessary. But here's the question. With all that's going on, is it panic mode for the Bengals, or should they just or they just be freaking out about Trey's Hendricks contract situation? Or do they just need to sit tight and let the process play out? Guys, here's the way that I am leaning. I am leaning more toward the patience on this one. First off, the Bengals have shown that they're willing to work with Trey, and they've even given him the freedom to explore trade options if that's what he wants. But here's the catch. They didn't trade him. He's still on the roster. That shows there's a possibility that they could work at a deal in the future. We've seen the Bengals be patient before. Look at Joe Burrow's contract extension, or even the way they navigated the cap space over the last few seasons. They play the long game. And remember, the Bengals haven't told Geno or anyone else exactly what they're doing with Trey Hendrickson, so it's all still up in the air. Maybe they want to see how things play out, how the season unfolds and how Trey Henderson performs. It's a waiting game. In the meantime, they're giving their star defensive end space to potentially negotiate a deal he feels is fair while keeping him on the roster for the upcoming season. Plus, the Bengals are banking that Trey continues his high level of play. As Geno Stone put it, having a pass rusher like Trey on the field is a huge asset, especially as a safety. It's no secret that a strong pass rush helps the secondary, and Trey's presence could be a game changer for the entire defense. Also, the Bengals are also in a solid position. They know the value of Trey brings to the table, so there's no real panic here yet. The situation has to play out, and with the upcoming draft potentially happening next season and still off-season moves to happen, they could clear up even more cap space if needed. The Bengals are historically patient and meticulous in long-term decisions. However, the clock is ticking. The longer Trey goes without a new deal, the more pressure will mount. But for now, I say slow it down, baby, and be patient. This is the Bengals' chance to see how the season plays out, how Trey performs, and how they can get a deal done before the end of the year. So, to sum it up, no. I do not think that the Bengals need to be in panic mode. This is a situation that requires some time and careful planning. I say, let's be patient, but let the Bengals see how things unfold with Trey. If they handle it right, they just might find a deal that benefits both sides. That is my take, guys, but what do you guys think? Is it panic mode for the Bengals, or just stay back and trust the process? Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And always, guys, we're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Do not forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay up with all the latest news and analysis. Now, let's get into comments and discuss what you guys think about Trey Henderson's future. James Frank says, let's just put it simple, but let's put it simple as can be. It is time to pick. James, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, man. All right? Slow it down. Go get some crackers. Go enjoy Dave Matthews koozie. And, just slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Old Man River says, let it play out. They will pay. Let it play out. They'll play. And I agree, Old Man River. There's a reason why they haven't traded him yet. There's a reason why there has not been an active market for him yet. Because everybody knows that he's not going anywhere. Let's just be honest. James Frank says the man is not liking that they've stopped communicating with him. Yes. So, spoiler alert, this was supposed to be last Friday's show. And then today, all the Bengals and vets and rookies met up in Cincinnati. And Trey has definitely come out and said, look, he's fucking pissed, right? He is not happy. Mellow Mike says, screw Katie Blackburn. The Bengals are a dumb organization who gets screwed for being cheap with their own players. Without Burrow, they let Higgins walk. Probably. Probably. They did let Tyler Boyd walk, which to me I thought was a big surprise. Big surprise. Real McCoy says, help him pack his bag. Cincinnati will let him get away. And he'll end up in Kansas City, Real McCoy. He will end up in Kansas City. And yeah, 416 says, it's time to panic, baby. Panic mode in Cincinnati. Slow it down. Let's slow it down and collect our thoughts, right? Old Member says, send him to Detroit or Vegas. Either way, I'm a fan of both teams, so Detroit or Vegas, I'm happy. Send him over here. James Frank says he's threatening to sit out the season, though, if a deal does not get done before the season. He wants to know his future is secure with the team. Yes, and so, James, I think he's saying that just to try to get the ball rolling, right? And if he gets the ball... So, as you guys know, I'm in the process of buying and selling my house as of right now, right? We have been looking at this house for a while. It's finally going to hit the market on Thursday. Long story short, person who owns a house says, hey, I will sell you this house as long as we get the ball rolling, right? Get the ball rolling, and then we are in good terms. So maybe that's what the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson just need to do, is just get the ball rolling. Get the conversations happening yet again. I think he will be on the field, September 7th, right? He will definitely play week one, I feel. Mellow Mike says, the man just led the league in sacks. He earned a pay raise. It looks bad for the rest of the players on that roster. Does it, though? Because they paid T. Higgins. They paid Jamar Chase. They're paying players, right? Just not the right players with their defense. So, Mike, this is where I'm torn, right? Because let's just be honest, the Cincinnati Bengals defense sucked last season. Their defense is the reason why they did not make the playoffs. Their defense is the reason why Jamar Chase nearly won the Triple Crown last season. Their defense was the reason why they had a 13th overall pick, 14th overall pick. Now, obviously, Trey is a part of that defense, and yes, he did lead the league in sacks. And where would they be without him? Yes, but on the flip side of the coin, they were still the 27th ranked defense in the NFL. They were still 20th in pass rush defense. They were still 29th in pass defense. They were not a good defense at all. Now, obviously, the last 6 weeks of the NFL season, you could arguably say they were a top 15 defense, yes. But overall, they were not very good. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Yeah, 416 says defense in the Bengals is their weakness. He has leverage, especially when you have a team that has offensive power and struggle on the defensive side of the ball. Exactly. Yes, well, no, not exactly, because he is on the defensive side of the ball, and they did suck. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Do we put all this money into Trey where the linebacking sucks and the secondary sucks and this sucks and this sucks and this sucks? But hey, we got Trey. We paid Trey. Like, that is the biggest question to me at the end of the day. Let's go sports. What's up, man? Says the Bengals messed up, putting so much money into 3 really good players, but completely forgot about the main problem. The draft can't solve it in 1 year. A bunch of rookies can't do the job. I agree. Trey deserves every penny he wants. No. As he is a late bloomer in the NFL, right? Because his first 3 or 4 years in the NFL, nobody knew who he was until he came to Cincinnati, and then he started getting this 17.5 sacks back-to-back seasons. So he is a late bloomer, but at the same time, he is still on a defense that's not very good. I just be patient. Let's play it out and see what happens. Right? Let's play it out and see what happens at the end of the day. But guys, it is time to get into my favorite segment, a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. As we start to wind down the show, but we're not quite done yet, baby. It is time for our final segment called Fact or Crap. Here's the deal, guys. I'm going to go through some statements, some air quotes, facts that are floating around the NFL world. It is up to us to decide. Is it a solid fact or is it just a bunch of crap? We're going to separate the truth from the nonsense, cut through the hype, and see what's really worth believing. If it's legit, we're all about it. If it's pure garbage, we're calling it out. So guys, grab your popcorn because it's about to get real. It is time for a whole lot of fact and a whole lot of crap. Guys, let's figure it out, and let's start off with the top right at the top. We got a huge question on the table to start off Fact or Crap, guys, and this is the game changer for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys just made a bold move acquiring wide receiver George Pickens for the Pittsburgh Steelers in a trade last week. This deal does include a 2026 third-round draft pick and a 2027 fifth-round draft pick and a 2026 sixth-round draft pick coming back to Dallas. Now, CeeDee Lamb, guys, is already an established Pro Bowl quarterback, and the Dallas Cowboys have been searching for that number 2 wide receiver to complement him for many, many years. But guys, the question of the day is, guys, fact or crap, does George Pickens make the Dallas Cowboys a Super Bowl team? Let's break it down. The facts are, guys, that the George Pickens gives the Dallas Cowboys the best wide receiver duo they've had since CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper paired back in 2020, 2021. George Pickens had a solid 2024 campaign with the Pittsburgh Steelers, posting 59 catches for 900 yards and 3 tutties. He's proven he can be a reliable weapon with Dak Prescott back healthy after missing the last 9 games of 2024. You got a dangerous passing attack brewing in Dallas. With CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, you can argue that the Cowboys now have the most dynamic duo wide receiver tandem in the NFL. This could absolutely elevate their offense, making them a much dangerous team when it comes to competing for the Super Bowl. But then on the crap side of like things, right? George Pickens certainly has potential, but let's not forget that he has maturity issues. We saw him get flagged twice for unsportsmanlike conduct in a win over the Cincinnati Bengals that involved a scuffle with the Browns quarterback Greg Newsome as well. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin himself even called him out, saying he needs to, quote, grow up. These emotional outbursts might be a red flag. If Pickens can't get his head right, he may not even live up to the expectations in Dallas. Plus, while he did have a solid 2024 campaign, he still hasn't consistently proven he's a game-changing at the level that the Cowboys need to push for a Super Bowl. But, fact or crap, guys, does George Pickens make the Dallas Cowboys a Super Bowl caliber team? Guys, George Pickens could help the Dallas Cowboys take the next step. But it's going to depend on him maturing on both as a player and a person. The potential is there, but for now, let's say they need to see more consistency from him on and off the field before we start calling the Cowboys a Super Bowl favorite. Now, just because of this trade, I'm going to say for right now, it is a crap for me. But what do you guys think? Fact or crap? Does this trade make the Dallas Cowboys a Super Bowl team? Old Man River says crap. Crap. He says, hey, don't forget about my Lions. Let's Go Sports says crap. Super talented receiver and really good, but Dallas isn't there yet. Isn't there yet overall as a team. He might bring drama. He's just not a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson. He's still a great player though. He is a number 2 receiver, and will be the best number 2 receiver in the NFL. Let's Go Sports. But you are right. Let's slow it down, baby, right? Real McCoy says Pickens isn't a cure-all. Cowboys have other issues. They addressed those issues in the draft, though, real McCoy. Let me be devil's advocate, right? The issue with Dallas Cowboys season last year was the running back situation. The running back room was terrible. Terrible. The worst in the NFL. I can say it. But I think they drafted 2 quality guys. They picked up 2 quality guys as well. Miles Sanders and Williams, right? They potentially could have a very, very good running back room, which takes pressure off of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Dak Prescott, which in returns take pressure off of that defense. Now, Pickens is not a cure-all, but the draft helped them a lot as well. Let's Go Sports says if they can sign him to a long-term extension, that this duo is lethal. Maybe fact for the future, but right now it's still a crap. So can we revisit this? Can we put a pin in it? Right? Can we put a pin in it to like week 8? You know, mid-October-ish? Can we start talking about this Dallas Cowboys as let's revisit this? I think we can. James Frank says maybe his attitude was just because he hated being in Pittsburgh. I'll say crap, but definitely will be a help to make the team better. I don't understand how he doesn't make the team better, right? But hey, it is what it is. But I think we're all kind of in agreement here. We need to slow it down. Dallas Cowboys got better. They improved, but we need to slow it down, baby. We got to give them a little bit of crap. But let's move on to the next factor crap, guys, and let's drive into the next one. Travis Hunter. Now, as much as we know the hype surrounding Travis Hunter, guys, the question is, will Travis Hunter win Rookie of the Year. As you guys know, the odds of the Rookie of the Year came out, and Travis Hunter is plus 350 on the offense and post defensive side of the ball. So, fact or crap, will Travis Hunter win Rookie of the Year? Now, as much as I know the hype surrounding Travis Hunter, guys, I am calling this crap. Right off the bat, I don't even dive into it. This is crap, and here is why. Guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars are planning to use Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball as a wide receiver and a cornerback. And while Travis Hunter is undoubtedly an electrifying player, being spread out across both positions isn't going to allow him to fully shine on either side of the ball. Especially if you are a rookie, right? When you are a rookie, you're still trying to learn the NFL. You are trying to learn this 18-week NFL season. You're trying to learn offense and defense. He is going to be spread so thin. It is going to be nearly impossible for him to have any type of breakout season and necessary to take home that prestigious award. Then let's take a look at what others are like saying, right? When you look across the NFL landscape in the analyst community, there's a lot of buzz about other rookies who might have a clearer path to dominating their position. For example, Ashton Gentry, the running back from the Raiders, is getting a lot of love for this award. He's stepping into a massive role with the very run-heavy offense under Chip Kelly, which means he's going to be the focal point of the Raiders' offense for many, many years to come. And that's exactly what you want from the Rookie of the Year candidate, a team that needs you and a system that highlights your skills. Meanwhile, you've got other players like Cam Ward, the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, who is generating a lot of buzz as well. We all know that the quarterbacks tend to take advantage here, and Ward, with the Titans' focus on building around him, could be the kind of numbers they puts him vault into his competition. And then as for Hunter, despite his potential and raw talent, I think the Jaguars are going to be doing him a disservice by spreading him so thin. You need to focus. You need production, and right now Hunter is going to be juggling too many responsibilities. So I'm sticking with my take here, and I got to say crap. Travis Hunter will not win Rookie of the Year. But hey, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think the Jaguars plan to utilize him on multiple roles? It will help him stand out, or do you agree this is a recipe for diluted success? Let's get into the comments, guys, and discuss your thoughts. Let's Go Sports says crap. I think it was Ryan Clark, but if not him, someone else said it. But it was good that he said he's the best overall. He's a top 3 on defense and top 3 on offense, but not the best at either. I do agree with that. And I agree with you. Let's Go Sports. Real McCoy says, if all the talk is true, it's his to get. I don't understand how you can play both sides of the ball and excel at both in the NFL period, let alone your rookie season. I just do not see it happening. James Frank says, I respect Travis Hunter and love watching him, but I'll say crap. Shador's Rookie of the Year as he hoists the Lombardi in his first season. What? James said, no, I'm just playing, babe. I'm just playing. I think Gentry or Ikabuka that went to the Bucs will more than likely get it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, yes, and Defensive Rookie of the Year will go to a dual Carter. Let's Go Sports says, I think he will have a great season though, but you have to focus on one to win the award. Probably a dual Carter or Nick on defense, and probably Cam Ward or someone else on offense. I agree. Yeah, says crap. It's too early to decide whether a rookie is going to win the Rookie of the Year or not without seeing him play a game. You are correct, yeah. You are correct. This is way too early. This is May 13th, 2025, but the betting odds are out there, baby. We have to talk about it. Right? Well, we don't have to talk about it. We choose to talk about it. But that is just what we do here on the Man Hour. We overreact way too early, and it is what it is. All right, guys. Before we sign off tonight, guys, I just want you guys to leave you guys with something real. In the world that seems in a world that seems to thrive on division, criticism, and conflict, it is easier to get one simple truth. We are humans at the end of the day. We all laugh, we all cry, we all fall, and we all rise. And more than ever, guys, we need each other. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you believe, or how different we all may seem. Every person you meet is carrying their own story, their own battles, and their own dreams. So lead with kindness, choose empathy above all, love. Love louder than hate, love stronger than fear, love in a way that inspires others to do the same. Because when we show love, not just in our words, but in our action, that's when the real change begins. So let's be those people, guys. Let's lift each other up, and everybody love everybody at the end of the day. Guys, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of the community. And guys, we'll be back live, raw, uncut tomorrow, 9 p.m. East Coast time. We out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL talk. Let's go.